And welcome back to TKO Talk.
What is up, guys?
So we just finished watching the main event, which was Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. What a fight. Man,
to say the least.
I would watch them fight once a year.
100%, 100%.
But at the end of the day, Kamaru Usman, he wound up getting a decision victory on this. It's tough because one judge scored it 49 for Kamaru. I don't see that.
I don't either.
46. I don't see that.
But we both know there's always that one judge.
Because here's how I had it was I had Colby winning rounds 3 and 4 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue round 5. I think he did enough around 5 that he could have won it. Round 1 was debatable, but would lean towards Kamaru. Round 2, Kamaru dropped him twice. Definitely Kamaru.
You can argue that as a 10-8 as well.
You could argue it a 10-8 as well, but damn, man, that was... There were a couple rounds, too, that you could argue were just... draws on that too.
100%.
It was such a crazy fight. It was nice at the end of the fight seeing Kamaru and Colby come up, have some nice words for each other, hug each other, squash all that bullshit.
I'm so happy that they squashed the beat.
It's gonna be interesting to see if Colby kind of drops this shit a little bit now that I'm sure he's earned so many people's respect for the wars he's had with Kamaru.
And he's definitely a number 1 contender.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
and that's what we were just talking about. The problem is as long as Kamaru's champ, Colby's probably not going to get another title shot. Unless he just comes out and squashes. If they did remember when Aldo and Mendes fought that first time, and they made Aldo fight five people before he fought.
Wow. Aldo again.
Maybe if they did something like that. But it's the same thing with Masvidal. Masvidal's oh, give me whatever fights it takes to get back to the championship. But Masvidal doesn't make sense. Colby, it makes sense. Colby gave Kamaru his 2 hardest tests ever.
Absolutely. No, that's 100% facts. But then we go back to the marketability of the fighters. And we all know this. Who's the prize fighter? Oh, I would not put it past them. I would have not put it past them.
The first one sold 1.3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't doubt this one sold 1 million, maybe 1 or at least 1.2.
No, and it lived up to the fight. It lived up to the fight.
The hype. Yeah, for sure.
Both. This whole card really.
It was a stunning card, but with Colby and Kamaru, Kamaru now it's kind of a toss up because now we have in December Game Bread and we have Leon Edwards. But at the same time, as we had Vicente Luque weigh in as a backup fighter for this fight.
Yes.
So it seems like in the UFC's eyes, let's face facts. If Leon beats Masvidal, Leon's getting a title shot.
100%.
But it seems like if that doesn't happen, it's going to be Luque next, which I agree. I like Vicente Luque a lot. I think that's a fun fight.
He definitely earned it.
And I think Luque has a lot of power. He's got good ground game, and I think it's tough, right? Because I think Kamaru can squash him on the wrestling and everything, but I think Vicente has such a weird, unorthodox, wild style that he could possibly put Kamaru there.
It'll definitely be a striking match.
I would probably bet on Kamaru over Vicente in that fight. But I think I think there's a chance. I think Vicente has a chance.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't think that Kamaru goes to the ground with Vicente. I think that he's going to try to keep it standing.
I think, here's the thing. I think he would keep it standing, press him against the cage, shoulder strikes, foot stomps.
Yeah, that's Kamaru's
I think he would fight him exactly how he fought Tyron. Where he did a lot of damage to the liver and body shots.
Well, here's the thing. Vicente is not completely, but definitely a different fighter stylistically. Sure. But where it would come into Kamaru's favor is I think that he has the upper advantage, like you said, technically wrestling, basically up against the cage, dirty boxing. But I still think Kamaru has a slight advantage in the striking.
What I think is nice is with Colby Covington's work ethic he has, it was nice seeing the real side of him a little bit with
100%.
Talking to Kamaru and then talking to the fans after the fight he has really 2 options where he could either take some time off and then he would fight the loser of Masvidal and Edwards, which I think is what the UFC's game plan would be, or he could just say, hey, I want to fight ASAP, like as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, no,
and try
absolutely.
to get active and start racking up wins to possibly work his way back to a title shot. It's just, I think, as long as Kamaru is there, I don't think he gets another title shot.
No, I totally agree with you. I think,
but it's tough because if it sells, I could see the UFC doing it again.
True, because it did sell. It does sell.
Yeah, and this was a pretty close fight.
It does sell. But let's just be honest. Colby needs to step back, reassess his game plan, his strategy, figure out what he wants to do next, and then come back stronger. I mean, Colby's far from over in his career.
Yeah,
he has such a long way to go, such longevity.
Because he dominates pretty much everybody else.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, you could also say a good fight for Colby would be Wonder Boy. He's called him out a couple times. Wonder Boy doesn't have anything lined up. That would be a good fight for him to have.
Right, yeah.
But they fought pretty much exactly the same as the last fight for them. But the only difference was Colby went in for a few more takedowns this time around.
Right.
Kamaru feinted a few, and there was a bit more cage pressure from both of them. It wasn't just a straight kickboxing match like last
What
time.
I would have loved to see from Colby is a lot more leg kicks, a lot more body kicks, and less haymakers.
Here's the thing. He needs to not throw head kicks at Kamaru. He threw probably 12 of them. Kamaru caught every single one of them. He grazed him with his toes on one. Yep. It was exerting a lot of energy for
unnecessary
for nothing at the end of the day. Meanwhile, where he saw success and he hurt Kamaru was with the body kick to the liver.
Exactly.
So if he would sit there and focus on the body more than he was focusing on the head, set up his shots, throw to the body, do some damage to the liver, where he's seen success twice now. Where in the first fight he really hurt him, and Kamaru was faking a nut shot. You could argue that, and it really looks like that. But he really did hurt him to the liver in that first fight, and then he did it again in this fight. It's focus on that. Why he was thrown to the head, I have no idea. It was, especially in like the last 4 or 5 throws to the head, he couldn't even really get his leg up there. So he was throwing it more to like the collarbone.
As really a range gapper to see where he was, if he even could land that head kick, which in the long run wasted energy.
A lot of energy.
But my whole thing is that he went in there with the slower pace. Did it work out for him in the last few rounds 100%. Where he did exactly?
Yeah, but this is exactly what we were talking about. Where I think Colby won round 3 and 4, and I think round 5, probably the judges may have leaned it towards Kamaru.
Okay.
And that's, I think if like we were saying, if he had abandoned trying to grapple with him on the fence and just tried to outland him there, Colby could have snuck away with the win.
100%.
So it's tough, man, because he would have won him by a split decision.
Yeah.
It's tough because it's such a good fight because they're so evenly matched, with the exception that Kamaru has more power. If Kamaru hadn't dropped him in that second round, Colby could have easily snuck away with him.
100%.
Because he was outlanding them.
Yeah.
So it's just tough, man. If the wrestling, we realized it was pretty much neutral. Like we were talking about during the fight, is while Colby is technically the better wrestler, Kamaru has so much more strength.
Oh, absolutely.
That Colby just could not pull him down.
Absolutely.
So it was great. I think for Kamaru, it's either going to be Leon or Vicente next, and then for Colby, he's got a lot of options where it's either going to be the loser of that fight, or he could fight Wonder Boy, which I think would be a great mix-up for him.
No, I definitely want to see him take a step back.
But God, Kamaru's just really lapping the division. He's beat Masvidal twice now. He's beat Burns. He's beat Colby twice now. It's just, it's who's really left for him at 70, and you could argue that maybe it's Khamzat Chimaev.
Ooh, man.
I mean, he needs probably 2 or 3 more fights.
Yeah,
they could have him fight Colby.
Oh,
God.
All right, guys. I think.
So that was UFC 268. It was a great card from top to
bottom. Did not disappoint. 100%.
Definitely fight of the night, Chandler Gaethje.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think Dana will probably give Colby and Kamaru a little bit extra money too. Yep. And it's just, wow, it was a really solid card. Lot of options. Kamaru's fucking fantastic.
Right.
And Colby is clearly the number 2 guy at 170 behind Kamaru. So. If you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like it for us. If you want more content like this, subscribe to our channel.
Like and subscribe.
And we will see you guys next time.
Peace.